Transporting glass panels seems like a routine job until you remember that each one is a silent bomb made of crystal. A single wrong move can cause tons of glass to shatter like flying blades. The irony is that the real danger isn't in the material, but in how it's loaded and secured. Today, you'll discover why every glass truck travels on the edge of disaster. And what happens when something goes wrong. The silent enemy. How industrial glass behaves. Glass is a deceptive material. Its surface appears still, but within each panel beats an invisible tension, like a sleeping giant that could awaken at any moment. When we talk about tempered glass, we refer to a creation that has undergone an extreme process. It's heated to about 650 or 700 degrees Celsius and then rapidly cooled. This brutal contrast leaves an internal charge, or a contained force, that makes it up to 5 times stronger than common glass, and at the same time, infinitely more dangerous. That tension turns it into a transparent bomb. If a point is damaged, if a micro crack appears, or a vibration passes through it at the wrong moment, all that contained energy is suddenly released, transforming a calm panel into a cloud of sharp fragments. A simple stone in the path, a pothole, a sudden change in temperature can trigger a disaster. And glass does not forgive mistakes. There are no warnings or second chances, just silence. And then an explosion of shards that cuts through the air. And yet, thousands of truckers must move tons of this material without a single piece trembling. How do they manage it? A-frames, the only safe way to move glass. To manage this sleeping giant, transporters rely on metal structures called A-frames, racks shaped like an uppercase A. The panels are placed vertically on them, resting on rubber or wooden padded bases, as if lying on a hospital stretcher specially designed for their fragility. But here, every detail matters. If the straps are too tight, the glass can fracture under pressure. If they are too loose, the panel might move, strike others, and trigger a chain reaction. That's why the straps are calibrated with millimeter precision, and the trucks carrying them come with pneumatic or hydraulic suspensions designed to absorb even the subtlest road vibrations. Transporting glass is not about strength, but balance. Every tie is a calculated decision, each turn a test of absolute control. But if just one strap loosens, it all turns into a storm of invisible blades, when glass becomes the enemy. Imagine an industrial glass pane over 4 or 5 meters high, weighing around 400 kilos. Now imagine dozens of them traveling together in a truck on the highway. If just one loses stability, its weight is enough to fracture and drag the others into a cascade of destruction. When that occurs, there is no sound more terrifying than the silence before the fracture. First, a vibration, a slight tremor, and then the dry roar of glass shattering into 1,000 pieces. Tempered glass fragments can be thrown over 50 meters, cutting through anything in their path. There have been accidents where a simple curve or a sudden stop was enough for tons of glass to spill across the road, turning it into a lethal trap for other vehicles or pedestrians. In that moment, the driver can only watch. There's no maneuver to save him, no brake to free him. The disaster has already begun, and all that's left is the crash of the glass and the weight of fear. And the most terrifying part is that the danger is not only outside, it travels with the driver too. The driver and his refuge, how they protect themselves. The one driving a truck loaded with glass is not just a transporter. He's a guardian of balance. In his cab, every decision can mean the difference between a successful trip or a chaos of shattered glass. That's why many trucks are reinforced with metal barriers or plexiglass panels behind the seat, like an improvised shield against the unforeseen. The straps must be placed with surgical precision at angles ranging between 45 and 60 degrees to prevent shifting. And it's not enough to tie down and go. Every 100 kilometers, or after every major turn, the driver must stop, check, adjust, and recheck. It is a constant ritual, a routine of discipline and patience. European standards like EN 12150 or ISO 12543 regulate every aspect of transporting tempered glass. But even the strictest regulations cannot eliminate the unpredictable, human error. And that's where the driver becomes the true safety factor. Because even though there are protocols and barriers, no system can eliminate the most unpredictable risk: human error. The price of error. A single truck can carry glass worth over 100,000 euros, but the true cost isn't always measured in money. Sometimes, a single mistake is enough to halt the construction of an entire building or ruin weeks of industrial production. That's why many companies insure each trip individually, knowing that one error can turn into a monumental loss. For the driver, the load is not just physical, it's also emotional. They know that a pothole, a poorly calculated curve, or a late break can cost them their job or reputation. Some truck drivers confess to traveling over 1,000 kilometers without daring to change lanes, fearing any movement might disrupt the balance of their precious cargo. That constant pressure, that silent fear, accompanies them every kilometer. Driving with such risk demands more than skill. It demands an almost inhuman fortitude. Staying calm when you know one wrong move can destroy an entire fortune. That's not just professionalism, it's courage. And to withstand that pressure for hours, it takes more than technique. It takes a fortitude that borders on the inhuman. The human factor, mental precision under pressure. Transporting glass is not just a physical challenge, it's a mental battle. The driver must maintain constant speeds, avoid sudden braking, and read the road with pinpoint concentration. Every vibration of the truck is felt in the body as a reminder of the risk. Prolonged stress leaves its mark. Mental fatigue, micro tremors, muscle tension. Some truckers claim that driving glass is steering with fear and respect simultaneously. There is no room for distractions, no space for negligence. It's a dance between control and danger, where every gesture, every decision can define the journey's fate. In those moments, true strength lies not in the hands, but in the mind. Controlling breathing, calculating every curve, anticipating every break, all are part of an almost ritualistic precision. Veteran drivers talk about this mental state as if it were a meditation in motion. The art of staying calm while everything could fall apart in an instant. And even with all that precision, the fate of the glass depends on something no human can control. Technology, ally, not savior. Today, technological advancements seem eager to tame the glass. Some modern trucks use active electronic suspension systems that adjust pressure in real time based on weight and vibrations. Others incorporate tension sensors in the belts, capable of alerting if one loosens by just a few millimeters. The most specialized companies employ advanced telemetry and geolocation to monitor safe routes and vibration levels on each journey. However, even with all this progress, the risk never completely disappears. A simple electrical failure, a wrong calibration, or an unforeseen overload can turn technology into a silent enemy. The modern driver travels surrounded by screens, lights, and alerts. But in the end, When the glass trembles, it is their heartbeat that decides. No algorithm can replace human intuition, that blend of fear and experience that distinguishes the true professional. Because ultimately, no algorithm can replace the human touch when the glass trembles. If you are surprised to discover the hidden danger behind the glass, imagine how many more stories are concealed in the paths of transportation. Like, subscribe, and activate the bell to keep exploring this world where precision, risk, and bravery are reflected in every gleaming panel. See you on the next route, where a new challenge always waits to break the silence.